Listen up, I got a lot to say. Straight talk all day, every day. We talk about them games that you play as LeveledHead and KBomb on that MIC. Straight talk, 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 straight talk.
What's up, people? It's your boy, LeveledHead, back with my partner, my homie,
KBomb20.
And this is another Str8 Talk. Shouts out to my boy, Mr. L, LeveledHead, the Live and Level podcast. We're going to try to get back up and do another one of those. But me and KBomb was talking the other day, and the topic was very, what would you say? Would you say it was interesting?
I thought it was.
Yeah, you came up with it, so of course you would think it was interesting. But I thought it was interesting. He brought a topic to me, asked me a question, and you know what I'm saying, after I listened to him when we talked about it, I was like, man, we should jump on and talk about that and see what the cats on YouTube and whoever else listens to this think. So we're here to talk about that. But before we go there, man, what you been gaming on? What you doing right now, K-Bomb? What you on? You know you got that PlayStation 4. What you doing?
Yeah. So, your boy just picked up that Need for Speed rival. I guess I've been playing Need for Speed. I wasn't back in the Hot Pursuit days. I guess I jumped on about Underground. That was my first real Need for Speed when they started doing the Underground series. You know what I'm saying? That was hot. I thought that was, you know what I'm saying, one of the best things they did. You know, and also when EA did the Burnout, I thought that was hot too. So, the new Need for Speed, I'm working on the rivals, and you know it's pretty hot. You know, I wasn't expecting to get into it as much as I have. It's a decent story mode. I mean, the story about it isn't that deep. It's just enough to keep you going from mission to mission. But it's pretty fun. I guess I've been working on that. I've also been working on. I'm still gaming on that 2K, man. I'm feeling that.
Okay.
I'm telling you, man, if you guys want to get at me, I'll be at the park. I'm on that PS4. I got my boys I'm riding with, playing some 3-on-3, 5-on-5. So every now and then, you guys follow me on Twitter. I go ahead and hop on Twitch and broadcast my gameplay. You guys can see how I get down. We whoop cats, run about 15, 20 games in a row. But pretty much that's what I've been gaming on, just that 2K, getting that in, and hopping on that Need for Speed Rivals.
That's what's up. Now, you and Mr. L Live need to exchange friends or whatever. You know, since he got the PS4 now, too, y'all might as well try to make contact. I'm going to have to holler at him. I ain't talked to Live in a minute. I was trying to get at him today, you know, because we got that stuff. That stuff we working on that we going to try to announce once we get everything finalized. We're going to let cats know what me, K-Bomb, and Mr. L Live been on, you know what I'm saying? But now, till it's finalized, we're just going to keep it on the hush. Shouts out to my boy, Mr. L LeveledHead, you know what I'm saying, the Live and Level Gamers podcast. You know how we do it over there. But anyway, since you told what you've been gaming on, you know, let them know what I've been gaming on, since, you know, we ain't trying to keep it all PlayStation and Sony over here. Let's throw a little Nintendo up on this joint. Anyway, man, I've been playing that DKC Tropical Freeze, that Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and I gotta say, man, this is a wonderful game. I'm really enjoying this game. I hadn't got on in the last few days. I actually haven't been on my Wii U in the last few days. I had a loss in the family, and
really been
yeah, thanks, bro. Been trying to deal with that and some other things happening in my personal, me and my wife and things like that. Well, not bad, but I'm just saying, been busy, you know, with the family, and then here at home doing things. So I haven't been able to game like I want to. That kind of stuff. Maybe you had to let me check that people might think I'm going through some woes with my wife. But no, we all good. We've been busy, and so I haven't really been able to game like I wanted to. But that DK is nice, bro. Hard. One of the most challenging games I've played in some time. I mean, you know, I like a challenge, but this is a challenge. So, but yeah, I've been really enjoying it, and the graphics is nice. The stage, I don't know. I saw that review from GameSpot talking about the backgrounds is bland. Man, I don't know what he was looking at, but this game looks really good, and so I've been gaming on that, and really trying to get back into my backlog and catch up. You know, I still got Batman Origins. I got that. I wish I wouldn't have bought it. Assassin's Creed 4.
I told yourself you wasn't gonna do it, but
I did it anyway, man. I fell for the hook, and I won't fall for it no more. But yeah,
Assassin's Creed is a rental for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I shouldn't. It ain't even a rental, man. That game. I mean, it ain't bad. It's just it don't keep your attention, man. It gets boring, and just get like, you know what I'm saying. I know people like that game. I know Super Brothers like that game. He always talking about it, but I just can't get into it. But anyway, I got that. I still got to finish Wonderful 101. I'm pretty deep into it. I just, like I said, man, being a family man, a husband, and a father, and now I'm taking on some responsibility with my mom, and since my pops left, just ain't really had time, man. And then church, you know what I'm saying, still doing, you got to do the ministry. Lord come first, you know. So
gotta take care of that business.
Yeah, so it's been kind of crazy, and the music, and you know. But anyway, I'm trying to stay with the gaming, but anyway, that's what I've been on, that DKC Tropical Freeze. If you got a Wii U, which a million of you, a couple of millions, or we ain't out, we ain't lost. See, people want to say we going through woes. We going through a little drought, but we still got some Wii U's out there. So
it ain't over. They got that power, man. They got that power.
So go cop that, man. And also, like KBomb was saying, if you got the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, we gotta talk about Titanfall, man. What you think about all the response? But go cop that Rivals, Need for Speed Rivals. That looks good. I wish they would have released that for the Wii U, but hey, that's another discussion for another day,
for another time, man.
But anyway, what you think about Titanfall? And have you even played it? Have you got a chance to play? You know, we don't want to just totally, you know, act like the Xbox One don't exist.
Like that just didn't happen.
That was a big deal, man.
That's a big deal.
So.
I'm gonna be straight honest, man. For the big thing is, I'm a gamer first. I'm a Sony fan second. So I'm excited to see a game come into the industry that's living up to the hype. You know, that's my big thing. I've been hearing from a lot of people who've not really played the retail version, but I got a couple of friends who I talked to back when the beta was out, man. They were super excited about it. They were amped about it. They were saying that, you know, it's different than the first person shooter that we've been playing, which is the Call of Duties, the Battlefield, you know, and I heard people complain about the whole 6-on-6 thing. And, my view on that is if it's fun, it's fun. It doesn't really matter how many people out there are playing. I've played games from, like I said, Call of Duty back when like I said, it's 6-on-6, lets you do ground war, but you have that, and then I played all the way up to MAG, where you're playing 256 people in one map. You know, it's all about having fun. Whichever, doesn't matter. You can have fun with 12, you can have fun with 256. As long as the gameplay is built for that, then it's all good. Like I said, I'm excited about it. I actually hope Titanfall is a big deal. The reason why I say that, I hope it's a big deal. I hope it's too big for Microsoft to contain. And if that's the case, then, because I've been hearing that Respawn actually holds the IP for Titanfall, and so they were given the starter money from Microsoft in order to make the game, and so that's one of the reasons why the first Titanfall is a Microsoft exclusive. And so the thing is, if they grow big enough and too big for Microsoft to stronghold, that means, you know, saying 2 years or so, I might be playing Titanfall on my PS4. So I really do hope it does well. You know, I'm not a hater. I'm not gonna hate. I'm not gonna talk about the 60 pixels that is better than the 360 version. I mean, I'm not gonna do all that. If it's fun, it's fun, and I hope it succeeds. I hope it works, and so I can play Titanfall 2 on my PS4.
Yeah, I think if Titanfall is successful, you know, Microsoft gonna pretty much, I think they gonna throw some more money at it and sew that up pretty much like they did Gears. I think they're gonna try to make that their Gears.
I'm still hoping for the Mass Effect. You know, they tried that And
Yeah.
EA bought Mass Effect, and BioWare said, we're going to expand.
That's a
what I'm hoping.
possibility. I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking Microsoft ain't gonna let Titanfall go so easy. I ain't gonna say it won't happen.
Yeah, it won't be easy.
It won't be. But at the same time, and I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been looking at the Xbox. I'm liking what I'm seeing, man. It's just all they got to do for me is drop the price and lose the Connect. I don't want the Connect. You know what I'm saying? And that'll be enticing to me. I'm liking what I'm seeing with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and I'm loving the Wii U. But I'm still I'm a gamer, like you said. I'm a gamer first. Wii U fan second. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, a good game will always get me to pay attention.
Good game.
No matter what system is on. If it's a good game, it's gonna get my attention, and so I'm not lying to you, man. The Xbox, I'm liking some of the stuff I'm seeing. I don't know what it is, I don't know why, but I don't know. It's just I like some of the stuff I'm seeing on the Xbox, and of course I'm liking what's coming to the PlayStation 4. Don't know when it's coming, but the order, and we gotta talk about this though. Man, what's going on with Infamous, man? let me set it up. Shout out to Zephyrnix YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I don't watch Zephyrnix stuff a lot, but every now and again, he put up something and I check it out. And I was on YouTube. We was waiting on KBomb. When we family men, married, and so we got to eat with the family and do our thing. So I was eating, he was eating, and so I was watching some YouTube clips. Waiting for him, him to get free with his dinner time as well.
Yeah.
And I was on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? And I apologize to all my subscribers, man. I'm not like some of these guys. I'm not going to be uploading 5 or 6 videos a day. I always try to tell y'all that. I talk when something that intrigued me
worth talking about.
To me, I'd rather give you quality than quantity. I'd rather give you...
Preach on that, brother.
You know what I'm saying? I'd rather... Like, if you listen to the last podcast, Live at Level, with John Shaw and Triforce Johnson...
That was hot.
You cannot tell me that was not worth listening to for the full 3 hours that we talked.
Y'all went in.
Yeah, we went in. So, I try to give you... With what I do, me and Mr. L Live do, and what me and K-Bomb do, I try to give you quality. So when you listen, when I go on them long hiatuses, you can be like, but man, shoot, man, when I listened to that Zelda podcast, man, that just had me going for weeks. So I ain't like these other cats that just jump on here and quote a rumor, and to me it ain't no point. But so I apologize if I haven't been putting up enough stuff. But we here. So
we're here now.
What's going on with this? Shout out to Zephyrnix. Like I was saying, I was watching his video and he was showing a article on dual shockers, and it was about Infamous and how the game is strangely not looking like the E3 showing of 2013. So I was when I see stuff like this, like when I see headings talking about graphics and downgrading and visuals, I kind of bypass it. But, I was like, well, let me see what dude talking about, because I saw a few other people, Zaire had a video on it, and I think a few others. So I went on and checked it out. And I was really shocked. I was like, man, this is noticeably different. Now, I know Cass was mad at the Watchdog thing, and the Watchdog things was noticeable, but it didn't kill the game for me, but it was noticeable. But this game was noticeable. So I hit it, I shared it on Twitter with some people and my boy KBomb, and I said, man, he checked it out, and being a PlayStation, owner and looking forward to this game, because you are Infamous fan, you always trying to sell me on the game. I ain't even a big fan of Infamous. When you watched that video, what did you think?
All right. So I'm gonna try to be as unbiased. I'm not gonna try to be that guy to try to cover up his tracks and damage control. But yeah, there were differences. The biggest differences that you're going to see when you're looking at the E3 video and you're looking at the pictures that he showed on DualShockers, the biggest thing you're seeing lighting. This is one of the biggest things you're seeing. You're seeing the detail, less detailed in the textures. There are several reasons because of that. One big reason why this is happening, and another big reason why you saw this happen in Watch Dogs, is that you have this open world game. You have this game that majority of these games are not going to have any load times, and when you have that size of a game, it's hard to allow everything to have these high res textures. They went in with a very big dreams and goals of what they wanted to do, and they got to it, and they saw they had to cut back, but when you actually look at not the E3 from 2013, but when you look at the E3 2012 video of Watch Dog, look at that video and compare to what they're showing now, and to me, that's also night and day.
Yeah, it's night and day. They both night and day.
And my thing is, it's not really, I said this to Level, it's not really a PlayStation 4 issue. I don't know if this guy is trying to pin it on a PlayStation 4 issue. It's more of a shared next gen issue with the Xbox and the PS4. They went out there with those lofty dreams on what they can actually produce, what they're going to actually do, and they're actually falling short visually. Another example of this, I know I told you guys before, hey, I'm a big gamer, sports gamer, and Madden did the same thing. I was highly disappointed in what Madden actually delivered in November compared to what they showed us in June for E3. I mean, it was night and day, the same as here, because when you got your product in November, I'm sorry, you got in November, because the PS4 came out. When you actually got the product in November, it looked at like a better lit PS3 version. Yeah. Not the massively different next gen version of Madden that they promised back in E3. So I haven't done enough research to understand fully what's going on and why we're seeing this big of a difference between what is actually expected and what is delivered. But I know with these open world games, you can really expect graphically to take a hit. But I'm not happy about it. But the thing is, as long as it's fun and I enjoy it, then enjoy your game.
Well, let me say this, man. You said that you brought up Xbox. I would agree with you, but I can't, and this is why. Yes, there are games that are not living up to what we perceived that these two systems could produce. But one thing I will give Microsoft, and what they have been getting hammered with by PlayStation fans and those in the industry who are enjoying the 50% more power that the PlayStation 4 offers over the Xbox, is before the game comes out, they already let you know what the resolution is going to be. They already let you know that it's going to be this many frames per second and all that. So you're not seeing a drastic difference from what, like, especially first party or exclusive titles. What they showed is what you get. Like, if you look at Rise, when you got home, Rise looked like what they showed on the stage. When you got home, this game looked like what they showed on the stage, even though it might have been lower than 1080p. It might have been like 800p or I don't know all them different P's, but the P's. So, but with PlayStation 4 and Sony, and and I'm a bigger fan of Sony than Microsoft, so I don't have no shame in saying this. I always try to bring this up. Sony is clever at disguising and showing something that they know not to be true. You go back to the infamous 2006 E3 Killzone, and that game did the exact same thing. And then you look at some other games, saying, oh well, okay, Killzone, the recent Killzone, come to find out that the online portion, excuse me, was not at the level that they claimed that it was at. But that didn't come out until after the game was released and sold to those who bought into the truth, to the hype that was surrounded by that game. So I don't like that. That's one thing. This is like when I saw the difference, and this ain't even what we talking about, guys. This just came up because this happened right before we started recording. We both saw the video. We both had to be honest, like, man, that is totally night and day. So I don't like that because to me that's false advertising. If you hype me, because I ain't gonna front. I'm not an Infamous fan, but Infamous was looking good. It was if visuals will sell me on a game, I would be buying the PlayStation 4 right now because of Infamous. But visuals don't make me go buy a system. But the transparency, the straight difference, the downgrade that is shown between the great game is like, wow, so I feel you. I agree with you that both systems are not living up to, both systems are having games that are downgraded, but I say Microsoft do a better job of being honest before you buy the game. You know what you're getting before you throw out $60. I don't think Sony would. I think this just happened to get leaked, or I don't know how, because this typically Sony don't make mistakes like this. You will find this out till you own it. So that's just me, man.
I still staying on that same topic before we go ahead and switch. I did see, I believe last week, or was it this week? I believe IGN and GameSpot actually showed playthroughs of the actual Infamous game. And I know from what I saw of the game, it still had that shine to it. That nice, it looked good. I know definitely when I saw it, I was really happy to see it still look as good as, and as visual as I wanted it to be, and that I thought it was passable. But the fact that, there is drops in this, and like I said, the biggest thing that you're going to see in that, from what I saw, is actually lighting. That's the biggest thing. That's where you get the realistic, material. You get the realistic, is lighting. And, it's definitely not on the same level. I would give you that. It's definitely not on the same level. And hopefully that can be fixed. That can be fixed when later on, but, it's, I can't sugarcoat it. It's not the same. It's not.
Right. And that shouldn't, to me, this is the problem with us as gamers. We have allowed a sector, a small group of individuals to frame the message and frame what we pay attention to. To me, if you like Infamous, or if you was interested in Infamous, this should not kill your interest in Infamous. This change, it's a change, but the game still looks good.
If you saw the trailer, if you saw the actual playthrough, it still looks really good.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was finna use Uncharted 2. I'm pretty sure I could go buy Uncharted 2 right now and be impressed with how Uncharted 2 looks. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's PlayStation 3. So, this is PlayStation 4, and I'm pretty sure Infamous looks a lot better than Uncharted 2. So the visuals will satisfy you. It might not be what they touted and claimed it was going to be from E3, but it's still going to be a good looking game. Just like Watch Dogs might not look as incredible as it did in 2012, but Watch Dogs still looks good. It looks decent. It is it's not ugly. You know what I'm saying? It's not when I look at that's gross. I don't understand a lot of these gamers who oh man, it ain't as shiny, and no man, forget all that. Is the game good? You know what I'm saying? So I don't think this should change your opinion on buying the game if you want it. Like Titanfall, that game ain't being bought because of its visual. It's being bought because it's fun. And I ain't no first person shooter fan, but I ain't gonna lie. When I saw him jumping off the walls and doing all the stuff, I instantly thought of Metroid Prime, and I was like, you know what? That's kind of giving me some of that Samus action going on. I might be interested. I remember my boy, Red Knight, Active Gamer said the same thing in a video he made a long time ago when they first showed Titanfall. he was talking about, man, that kind of remind me of that Samus, that Metroid action, man. Because if you ever played Metroid Prime, which people sleeping on, you can do all that. You know, you can't jump off walls, but jumping and double jump, all that's in the game. Well, you can jump off walls. I'm tripping, but that's all in that game. You don't jump off walls like in Titanfall, but you do jump off walls and double jump and all that. That's all in Metroid Prime. So, when I was looking at Titanfall and how I played, those additions to the shooter, you know what I'm saying, with little platform elements to it, was kind of like, I might want to try that. So,
yeah, I definitely want to try it.
So, with that being said,
before we jump on, one last thing about that, and we can go ahead and close the topic. The biggest thing with this and this video is that, like you said, man, the people who loved Infamous and who really want to get Infamous is gonna get and play Infamous. The only time this really is going to be an issue is for those people who just want to have more bait for console wars. That's pretty much it.
That's it.
This is what's going to happen to this. It's going to get. I mean, it is a deal because you know what I'm saying, they didn't show what they were supposed to show. But like I said, the people who want it are going to buy it. But this is going to become more fuel for everybody else, just like the pixel counting and frame rate counting with the Tomb Raider game was just more fuel to say, hey, my system is better than your system.
Right.
You know, play the game.
Yeah.
I love the video you did beforehand, man. Just game on. And at this point, especially in my life, I don't have time to talk about 30 frames and how I have more pixels than you. But just play this game on.
Right. And like I said, we finna close this out, but to me, I don't have no problem with, I like when journalists do their job and point out discrepancies and false claims of companies. Like if Nintendo said something and they lied, like, okay, Iwata said we weren't gonna have no more droughts. Okay, we had more droughts. If a journalist called it out, I can't get mad at it because
call it out.
He put that out there and said he was gonna do that, and he didn't do it. Now you look at Sony, they showed Infamous, and now they showing it again. It doesn't look like what it was. They should get called out on that. But
call it out.
But what happens is when gamers take this stuff and try to use it to make their system be the best system, that's when it starts getting retarded. Let these people do their job. You keep gaming if you know what I'm saying. If you like the game, buy it. If you don't. You know what I'm saying, and move on. So, but anyway, with that being said, let's jump into the main topic, and then we'll cut out of here. I don't even know how long we've been going, but you know how we do when we get on here, we just start going with it. But KBomb came to me about a topic, and it was surrounding, I think, Titanfall, right? You use Titanfall as an example. So this is what I'm gonna do. KBomb, set up the question the way you came at me, and then I add on to where my thoughts went. And the question I want to ask the viewers, I want them to ponder on this, and we're gonna reminisce. We're gonna go back and show y'all some historical aspects to it, and then we're gonna look at where we at in this 8th generation and how things are totally different. Because when we was talking about it, we started just looking and analyzing like, dang, man, things are totally different in the gaming industry and how things used to be to how things are now. So go ahead and set up the question you asked me.
All right. So the biggest thing that I hear a lot when it comes to the PS4, like I said, I'm not here to defend the PS4, but I am interested in what's being said about the PS4 and even not even just the PS4, just the next gen consoles in general that's being said is, because after Titanfall, the thing that you've been hearing a lot is where's the next big game? And same thing with PS4 after Infamous, where's your next big game? And I know for me as a gamer, when I make a purchase, especially when you're paying $400, $500, I'm not going to buy something strictly because of something of a particular game that came out, day one of the launch. And so I know I went back and forth with LeveledHead a little bit, just talking about, how my buying purchases isn't dictated by just launch titles, because when you look at PS3 and Xbox 360 launch titles, it was complete garbage. But looking at now, I don't make it. My purchase isn't based off of that. But the question that came out of that is, how long should you have to wait for that gotta have game? That game that says, I have to get this system. I have to get this PS4, this Wii U, this Xbox One. Like, I got to get it right now because I have to play this game. The question was, how long is too long to go without that gotta have game? And so that's kind of what we've been talking about, and even just briefly going over what the launch games looked like in this generation, last generation, and what kind of launch games we were playing back in the day when we popped in Mario Brothers and we were playing Duck Hunt, and just making a subjective observation of how long was too long, and for these launch games to get a game that makes me want to buy this system.
Right, and then we also went here too. We also, after asking that question, I can't. It hit me. When did this become the norm? Because this wasn't the norm. Like to me, I use this analogy. I'm just going, I'm real, people. So I was telling KBomb, I said, I bought the Wii U strictly, and and I know KBomb bought the PlayStation 4 strictly because he's a Sony fan and I'm a Nintendo fan. So Nintendo didn't have to do much. I ain't just saying I went out and bought the system just to buy it, but they didn't have to do much to persuade me. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have to. They ain't had to do much but show me enough that into ours new system, I'm already in because it's a new Nintendo system. Then they show you the gamepad, and they show you all what's capable with the gamepad. Then they start showing you what they believe they want to do, and then a few games, and then they showed me verse. I was sold, right? Now I know this is not going to sell everybody. Then the same with the PlayStation 4. They come out, they talk about this, they talk about that. They show you the touchpad. They show you how they widen the joystick and the analog sticks, and how they changed up the triggers and all that. And then they start showing you what the system specs are and what they believe they could do, and they show you this. And if you a Sony fan, that should sell you pretty much on buying the system. But I said this to KBomb. I said, you know what? If what launched on the Wii U was the same thing launching on the PlayStation 4, let's say Mario U and Zombie U was launching on the PlayStation 4. I told KBomb, I'm just going to be honest, I wouldn't have bought the PlayStation 4. I wouldn't have, let's say Mario 3D World was coming to the PlayStation 4. Now, this is coming from being a Nintendo fan, but I'm just using those two games.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have bought the PlayStation 4 until either Wonderful 101 came out or 3D World, Mario 3D World came out. That's what would have been when I would have purchased the PlayStation 4 based off of the Nintendo games that was launched on the Nintendo Wii U. But because I'm a Nintendo fan, I knew these games were coming. You know what I'm saying? Right. I knew. I already expect Metroid. I already expect Zelda. I already expect Mario. I already expect those big franchises. So I don't have to wait till they come out to purchase the system. But with Sony, I'm waiting to order come out. I'm waiting to Drake Uncharted come out. I'm waiting to the next God of War or whatever that next Infamous ain't the game. So how long should you have to wait for a system selling game? And I don't think we should be waiting this long because, and I transition, before I go there, I don't think we should be waiting this long, but I'll let KBomb jump in and say what he thinks. Do you think we waiting absolutely too long for a AAA game?
My honest opinion is, and I briefly said this a little bit, they're not, if you take Nintendo out of the equation, you cannot name too many AAA games that came out in the summertime. The summertime is usually void except for sports games, baseball. You get your football, but your heavy hitters usually always waits for the holiday season so they can make the most of their money. That's where you're going to see all the Battlefields, you're going to see all the Call of Duties, all the Assassin's Creeds. You're going to see Mass Effect usually comes out in February, but the majority of the guys, the big heavy hitters, and even when you look at this year's, a lot of the heavy hitters actually wait until that holiday season so they can make that big time buck. And when you're talking about a new console, you still want those good games to come out in a reasonable time. I mean, you want those games out now. You want the games out as soon as you bought the system. You want to play it now. But I'm still under the belief, and they know these consoles come out in the holiday season, and it's usually not until the next holiday season. My thing is, if I'm fine with that gotta have game not coming out until the winter. Not the winter, but I guess it's considered the October time frame, the September time frame.
So fourth quarter, pretty much. Third
quarter. September is when you should start seeing games.
So
September
third quarter
time frame, yeah. At the end of that, you should start seeing some big time games in September. You should get it before November. You should get that AAA game, that game that makes you say, "Man, I'm happy I have this system." You should have that by September, at the latest October. That's my feel, because I understand that, you know, your big boys don't come out in the summertime. It just don't do it. It's just not the norm to have some big heavy hitters to come out in the summertime.
Well, let me jump in there. To me, I don't think we should be waiting that long for the first. Let me preface the first when I say that. Keyword first heavy hitter. Now, this wasn't the norm, K-Bomb, like we was talking the other day. This wasn't the norm when the system came out. Most of the time, the system seller came out with the system, at least one. Like if you look now, if I use Nintendo, I won't use the NES because nobody knew that Mario was going to be as good as it was. So we won't use Mario for that system. But then when you look at the Super NES, Mario's rep and iconicness was broad. You know, you had Mario 2, then Mario 3. Mario was the deal. And then Mario World released with the Super NES. That was one of the best games of the Super NES, was released day one with the NES, you know what I'm saying? Then you look at the PlayStation 4, Crash Bandicoot, and all those games that came out on the PlayStation was day one. You know, it wasn't, you didn't wait. I don't know, I'm not for sure. I think Crash Bandicoot was day one with the PlayStation. I'm not for sure. You a PlayStation fan, you have to correct me on that. Or somebody correct me, but I'm thinking Crash Bandicoot came out. But then when you look at like N64, Mario 64, Wave Race, all these games was early on. What was the other one? Killer Instinct, Gold. That was all within the first few months of the N64. You didn't wait long for those games. Then you look at the PlayStation 2, you had Tekken. You had, it's a couple other games you had on that system that was good system sellers. Tekken, Tag Team and all that. It wasn't until, and then you got Halo with, Xbox, right? So, yeah. It wasn't until 7th generation that you didn't have a day one game that was system selling. Like you look at the GameCube, you had Luigi's Mansion. That's a system. I went and you had Wave Race come out pretty early in that system in that system's life too. The second Wave Race. So those are system sellers. So when the 7th generation hit with the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 And, of course, the Wii had a killer game with Wii Sports, but nobody knew it was going to be a killer. But it was a killer game. It was a system seller. But with the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, that's when you start seeing that these systems were not releasing with must-have games. Like the must-have game for the 360 didn't come until the following E3 with Gears of War. It was at the end of the following year. It was 2 years into that system before you got a game that made you have to buy the 360. Everything else they had released, Dark, they had bought Rare and they had released, Perfect Dark, and they released Cameo or whatever that game was, and a few, King Kong, showing off the graphics, but as far as, then they did have Call of Duty, so that was a must have, but for the most part, it really wasn't nothing there until the following year, with the end of the following year with Gears of War. And then with the PlayStation 3, I think the first must-have game was, if I'm not off, was Metal Gear Solid 4. Am I wrong?
For the PS3?
Yeah.
No, the first game that, if I would say, the game that, I thought was really good and you should have played it on the PS4. Many people may not agree with me, but I thought Resistance was really good.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying, I feel you. But I'm saying like,
MotorStorm was I think the first real system seller, because it was supposed to come at launch, but it didn't.
Okay.
To me, the MotorStorm was one of the system sellers for the PS3. That's one thing they hyped, and it was a very fun game. If you had never played it, the online of it, was flawless. There was absolutely no lag, and that was the first time you ever got that. But I think MotorStorm to me was a system seller.
Well, my definition of a system seller is a tried and proven game where, like to me sometimes I can't say a new IP is a system seller. That's why I said no one, even though Wii Sports was a great game, no one knew it would be the system seller that it was because no one had ever played it or had ever seen it. But like games like Mario or a game like Halo being like, if they released Halo at the beginning of the Xbox 360 life, Halo is a proven game.
But Halo was released with the Xbox and it wasn't proven.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And so
there are some games, like you said, that do that. Like the first Mario Brother was one of them. You mentioned Wii Sport was a system seller, and the first Xbox was a system seller. People bought the Xbox strictly because of it, and same thing with Nintendo. Nintendo system.
Right. So my definition of a system seller, well, I'm not saying that, of course, if a game is good and it's getting high praise, I think it should help sell systems. But I'm saying, like, on day one, most of the time the games that sell a system are proven games that are AAA, big budget, attention gathering titles. Like I said, with Nintendo, when they released Mario 64, you didn't have to do no guesswork on whether Mario 64 was going to be good. You knew Mario was going to be good. You knew Crash Bandicoot after the first PlayStation. If they released any other Crash Bandicoot, you knew what to expect. That would make you go out, I need to get this system. Or Tekken Tag was proven in the arcade. You didn't have to think twice. You went and you copped that, like Soul Calibur. When the Dreamcast came out, oh my God. We went to, at that time it was Babbage's. And my boys, my partners.
Babbage's.
Me and my two partners left campus. And this before I even ran into you, KBomb. Me and my, some friends of mine left campus, man. And, we went out to the mall and we went to Babbage's. Now it's GameStop, but at that time it was, Babbage's. And we go in, man, they got the Dreamcast set up and they got Soul Calibur. Now, I remembered Soul Blade. So I didn't know what to expect with Soul Calibur. You know what I'm saying? So I grabbed the controller and we started. I get, Maxie. I get Mizurugi. I think that's how you say his name. Mizurugi, or however you say the swordsman dude's name. And man, we started fighting. We going back and my boy had Keelik with the stick. And, instant sale, but I knew Soul Blade not like that at the arcade, so it wasn't hard to see it in better graphics, looking better than the arcade. Man, I had the Dreamcast 2-3 days. No, I had it a week later. I had the Dreamcast. You know what I'm saying? I saved my check that I got paid that weekend and got some other stuff. So pulled it all together, went out there and copped that game. And then Sonic came not even a few weeks later. Sonic Adventures came out. So you talking about within the first few months of the Dreamcast, you had 2 to 3 must-have games. So the 7th and 8th gen is kind of changing it, because for the Wii U, as much as I like Mario, I'm not going to say Mario U was a system seller. I'm not going to say Zombie U was a system seller, nor was Nintendo Land. Good games, very good games, but not system sellers. Not like like a Wii Sports would have been for the Wii U, or Mario 3D World would have been for the Wii U, or Donkey Kong. To me, those would have sold the system a lot better than Mario U. So it is strange that a lot of these systems are releasing without a bona fide system seller day one. Because that wasn't the norm before 7th gen. Now, to all the subscribers, if you don't agree, please leave this down in the comment section. You know,
this will be talked about.
Yeah, educate, you know what I'm saying? I know how to say educate right. Somebody stop following because I said educate. I'm clowning people, but educate or educate us, you know what I'm saying? Because me and KBomb, you know, like he said, he don't mind waiting. I don't either. But if I don't want to wait, but I don't mind waiting, but I'd rather have, I would have rather had Mario 3D World day one for the Wii U, or Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze day one as the game that showcased that system and its goods. You know, Rayman Legend was going to be that to me. I thought Rayman Legend was going to be that game. That it would have been that game if Ubisoft wouldn't have pushed it back. But
I hate them.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't like this being the norm. I think since 7th gen was so long, you know, we forgot how it was before Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. Cause with the PlayStation 2 and the Dreamcast and the GameCube and even the Xbox, even though we didn't know Halo was a great game like it was, it still was a great game. Them were all day one games.
I will jump in on this note. You are right on definitely on some levels, man. About Halo, you're right on Mario 64. You're right on. I mean, Wii U Sports was a system seller, but I was going to say this about the PlayStation.
Wii Sports.
Yeah, Wii Sports. Yeah, my fault. What did I say?
You said Wii U Sports.
My fault.
Right.
Wii Sports. But when the PlayStation launched, the PlayStation did not have a system seller.
It didn't?
No. The best game at that time, I think, was Rayman and Ridge Racer.
But I thought Ridge Racer was a, system seller. Well, no, it couldn't have been at that time.
No, that died so quick. But,
so when did Crash come out?
It did not come out until later.
I got this, didn't you?
Oh man, come on now! You know I'll be on my game. I already had this information ready for you.
Okay, all right. Well, like I said, I told you I didn't know about the PlayStation.
It was hit and miss. When you come to these immediate launch games that came in here and it's made you want to buy it. The PlayStation didn't have one. The first PlayStation didn't have one for a while. And Nintendo 64 did have Super Mario, but that was about it. But it did have Super Mario.
No, I'm telling you, you had Super Mario 64. You had Killer Instinct within the first year.
But within the first year, yes. I'm talking about just
first few months. I owned them. Wave Race. Oh my God.
I'm saying strictly launch right now. That's what I'm looking at.
Oh, you talking about day one?
Yeah, it's day one. This is not a couple of months. You know, I didn't feel like doing that much research to get all that data. That's a lot of work, brother, for all these systems.
To me, a couple of months ain't bad. Like a month.
A couple of months is not bad.
A year? No, bro. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of owning the system for a year before I really get to experience what it can do. I think if you've been R&Ding for research and development for 4 or 5 years. I should have something day one to show me what this system do.
And the thing is, with this next gen, there's a lot of stuff going on with this next gen.
Right. You're right.
One of the big things for this next gen that's happened is that's different than what was done in the old days. Development is done totally different now than the way it was done back in the day. The way games are being produced and pushed out are way different than what's being done. You had new ideas, you had new IP. The issue you have nowadays, you have these rehash. You just take something you done on the previous game, and you release something for the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One at the same time. You throw me some higher resolution, and then you call it a game, a launch title.
Right.
That actually started. That got bad in last gen. Last gen, you had a lot of that issue of just rehashing these same kind of games. You give us new, some better graphics, and then you shoot it out.
Yeah, up-resing it and inching it out to us in pieces, and you know what I'm saying, and basically cash grabs.
It's more expensive, man. They take less chances now in this generation because, development is so expensive to put these games out. The millions and millions of dollars it takes to produce these games and put them out, you see less chances being taken. And so that's why you see Battlefield, Call of Duties, and everything else being pushed to these next-gen systems day one because it's safe. It's the easy thing to do. And you don't get those special hard hitter guys or that game that's strictly made for this system because they want to make their money on the old system too. And so that's why they're producing the way they are. But like I said, it's a change. You hit it right on the nose. It hasn't been the norm. It's starting to be the norm, and I think it may be the norm of having to wait for these heavy hitters.
Because when Nintendo, like I said, this is I think Nintendo was expecting Nintendo Land is a great game, but in hindsight, looking and playing the game, in hindsight, I can't say. I think they thought it was going to do what Wii Sports did. You know what I'm saying? It was going to be that game that really explained the Wii U and really caught on with the base and caught on with, even down to the casuals and those that blue ocean market. But Wii U, Nintendo Land was too fan focused. That would be the best way. Wii Sports wasn't fan focused. Wii Sports was Wii remote focused.
Yeah, this is what we can do.
Yeah, this is what we can do with this controller. Whereas Nintendo Land was fan service. It was for those who love Nintendo IPs, and I think that's where they miss what they caught on with Wii Sports. They missed with Nintendo Land because Nintendo Land really, if you ain't big into the Zelda and the Metroid and all the different IPs of Nintendo and love these characters, then it didn't really do anything to really showcase the gamepad. A few games did, but it wasn't enough to really sell you on what the gamepad does and how different it is from any other controller. What did do that, to me, in a more tangible, more in-your-face way, would have been Rayman Legend. Because it really did show you just how different the gamepad could be. And I would say even down to Zombie U showed you how different. But, Zombie U was pretty much a niche game that not most will get into because, the maturity of it, the zombie element of it, and the scary aspect of it, and first-person shooter, and, so Nintendo, I would say with the Wii U, I think they thought they had something because, Mario, New Super Mario sold so well on the Wii. I think they thought it would sell so like that again on the Wii U, but Nintendo just misread it, man. Cause Mario U was so much like New Super Mario on the Wii that it really, outside of just, like you said, up-res graphics, you really didn't get a new experience. So the folks who saw it, was like, I know what they were saying. Ain't no if and buts about it. It was pretty much saying, I already got that game on the Wii. What's the purpose of me buying it for the Wii U? So they didn't. And Nintendo really
took a hit.
took a hit because they betted, they made the wrong bet. Now is that game good? Yeah, it's one of my favorite games on the system. But at the same time, I didn't play New Super Mario on the Wii. I didn't buy that game for the Wii. So it was me kind of getting back into that nostalgia and that old school Mario 2D world feel for me. That was my first time going back to it, since Super Nintendo, so, for me, I enjoyed the game, but I understand if all those that didn't see the purpose in buying the game, cause it pretty much ain't no different than, one of my friends owned the Wii U and he owned that game on the Wii and he was like, man, it don't really look no different, don't play no different. It's nothing the gamepad really does add anything to it. So, yeah, this is new. And I ain't gonna say I like it. I like when a system is released with a
gotta have
system defining game. Like, and I use Mario 64. Mario 64 defined the N64 era like no other game. Now, other games might have came along and outdone it in aspects like Ocarina of Time and, the other games that really utilized the system and pushed it like some of the other games that came later on in the system's lifespan. But Mario N64 defined that system. It made you see what the N64 was all about. You didn't have to wait. You had it as soon as you bought it and put it in. I didn't need another game for it. I'm just being real, dude. I didn't need another game for about 4 or 5 months. I didn't have to have another game because the game was so immersive. I was younger then, so I wasn't just plowing through games like I can now. And it wasn't easy. Like, that game was not easy. It wasn't hard, but it wasn't easy. And it was huge. It was a big game. And, me and my brother took a minute getting through that game, So by the time I got finished with it, I was, 3 months into the system, I'm looking for the next big thing. And of course, you got Wave Race on the scene now. You got, Killer Instinct on the scene now. But now, I was done with you in a few weeks. I was done with Zombie U in a few days. I didn't want to play. I love the game, but I just got tired of playing it. So, I don't know, man. I don't like this trend of waiting for that must have. But you said you do, so.
Man, I'm not saying that I like it, man. I'm just saying I expect it. That's two different things, man, of liking and expecting. I'm going with the way that the trends have been moving, and this is the way the trends move, man. If you want to make money, you put it out in the during the holiday season. That's what you do. You make money. But there are a few guys who can go out there and put it out in the summer and still make that money. I believe GTA came out close to around the summertime because it came out before before Big Boys.
Metroid Prime for the Wii. Metroid Prime Corruption, I think, came out in the summer for the Wii, and it did pretty good. I think it sold.
Some people can do that. Some people can do that, man. But a lot of these other guys, man, they wanted to make the most. And big reason why GTA had to do it, they had to get out before the next gens got out there, and they made some money. But a lot of people can't do that, and so they wait for that holiday season so they can maximize their profit.
And another thing GTA did was kind of like what we started off talking about. They showed the game in a presentation that wasn't legit, because that game didn't look like what we saw depicted at E3 and all the hype up to that game. The res and that game was heavily downgraded.
It still looks good though.
It looks good, but it don't look like what they showed. Yeah, but anyway, with that being said, I think we went way over the time we expanded on, but we always do. But down in the comments, man, what you think? Let us know if you liking the long waits for the system defining must have game, or would you rather have that game? And I'm pretty sure most will say they would rather have it at lunch. But talk to us. Let me and KBomb know. But anyway, we finna sign out. You got anything else you want to say, bro?
Do you want to say thanks for the love, everybody. Thanks for the comments from the last videos. We appreciate it. I'm on Twitter, still trying to learn how that Twitter works. So you can come get at your boy at KBomb20. come holler at me. I'm usually throwing rants out there with your boy LeveledHead, having fun. So come holler at me. Keep subscribing to my boy Level. He's gonna keep coming with that heavy stuff. Keep hitting you where it hurts. Bringing that good stuff, man. So keep up the good work, bro.
All right, thanks, man. And hopefully we get live on another podcast and we get all three of us on there. And everybody,
I can't wait.
Let me say this: we about to go, man.
Go ahead, man. Clean it.
Let me just get it out there. I know y'all saw the last podcast, and I know that y'all know Live, traded in his Wii U for the PlayStation 4. People, the show is called Live and Level. Not live. Not level, but it's live and level. Live ain't going anywhere, man. We boys. A system will not cause me to stop wanting to record with my boy. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is with me. And I know what Triforce said, and I agree with him in some aspects. I didn't think, in my opinion, no, I wouldn't have sold my Wii U. I would have kept it and bought a PlayStation 4. But he is a grown man. He can do what he want to do, just like anybody else can do what they want to do. Now, Triforce's opinion is Triforce's opinion. I ain't gonna call nobody. I ain't gonna say I go as far as he go with it, but at the same time, I understood. But that don't mean the Live and Level Gamers podcast is just gonna be live now, or leveled now. Y'all need to stop.
Don't even sound right. Don't even sound right.
Mr. LeveledHead is LeveledHead's partner to the end. That's how it is. Just like KBomb was my boy to the end. That's how we do it. And when we announce what we got worked out and what we trying to do, y'all gonna be thoroughly shocked. But anyway, let's sign out. Like, subscribe, continue to follow. Like I said, follow my boy on Twitter at KBomb20. Just put twitter.com/KBomb20. And I should have this down in the description. And also follow my boy Mr. Live08 on his YouTube. And the same for Twitter. Twitter.com/Mr. Live08. That's MRLLIVE08. And, continue to follow me. And it is what it is. Deuces! Peace.